What's up, you guys? David here, and today, well, here's the thing. I was actually thinking about not doing this video until next week, but you know what? I decided, what the hell? I feel like I'm ready to do it now, and I really want to talk about this stuff because there's a lot of good stuff here. So, as promised, for like I said, the next video, my CD collection, I went all the way through it. Now, anything else, it's just going to be new stuff I have coming in that I haven't done yet. So let's talk about some new releases. There's been a lot of good shit to come out this year so far. Very, very happy with how 2018 has turned out so far. I've got no complaints. And there's a lot of stuff that I have heard this year that I still do not own yet. You got Sluggish, Esoteric Malacology, Wake with Misery Rites, Mammoth Grinder, Cosmic Crypt, Ilsa, Corpse Fortress, Rivers of Nile, Where Owls Know My Name, and just many others. I do not own these yet, but I hope to pick them up at some point, but those are all great albums from this year that I highly recommend that you check out. So let's go ahead and get into the CDs here. First up, we have Knelt Rote with Alterity. Now, I'm going to try and not copy everyone else who has talked about this band so far, because there haven't been many. And the most notable person that has talked about this band, Wyatt XM. Once again, Wyatt, thank you for getting me into this band. I would not know about them if it wasn't for you. So, yeah, like I said, this is a band that Wyatt got me into. So, best way to describe Knelt Rote, they combine grindcore, black metal, and death metal. I see them more as like a blackened death grind kind of thing. I mean, the black metal elements are, definitely there, but I feel like that's the genre that they have the least. And most people consider them to be black metal and grindcore, but I don't know, I hear a little bit too... I hear a lot more death metal overtaking the black metal, but that's just kind of what I hear. That's my opinion. But Knelt Rote is just very, very... Oh yeah, but another thing about Knelt Rote, sorry, I forgot to add this as well. Another thing that Knelt Rote is very well known for is incorporating noise into their sound. So, and usually that is not something that I'm very fond of for the most part, but Knelt Rote, I definitely had no problem with them doing it. I really do enjoy what this band does. And yeah, Knelt Rote is just very abrasive, fucking just so intense. Like, this stuff is just, it's almost just nerve-wracking to listen to. It's definitely not for everybody. You know, this is, even for some of the extreme metal diehards, some of you might still get a turn off to this. But if you're just looking for really fucking loud, intense, abrasive, heavy shit, Knelt Rote has got you covered. So, yeah. This is their third full length, and they recently just got back together, which is pretty cool. They were broke up for a while, apparently. But, yeah. I think that's, oh. It's released on Nuclear War Now, by the way. God damn it. Fuck this glare. Sorry about that. But, yeah, I think that's all I have to say about Knelt Rote. So if that description sounds like something that's up to your alley, go for it. Cool shit. Great band. Knelt Rote, Alterity. Next up, we got Judas Priest with Firepower. Man, in my opinion, this is a huge improvement over Redeemer of Souls. Why? Well, as I've stated before, my issue with Redeemer of Souls, why I thought it was a pretty good album, the production, man. That production was so inconsistent, and those guitars, just that loud and boomy instead of just that sharp and biting. You just, like I said, I've described that before. The guitar riffs just pack so much more of a punch on this album, and of course, it was done by Andy Sneap. Andy Sneap always fucking knocks it out of the park with his production. You know, I don't think he's ever done a shitty sounding album, at least not to my knowledge. But yeah, Andy Sneap always does a great job on the stuff he produces, and this is no exception. But yeah, a huge improvement over Redeemer Souls, even song-wise, just riffs, guitar solos, and Rob does not do anything like amazingly high with his vocals, but what he does works. And he's really been able to just maintain his voice and make it sound just so great after all these years. He's still fucking killing it. And it's also noteworthy to add that sadly, even though Glenn Tipton did get to perform on this album, he got diagnosed with Parkinson's disease not too long after they released this. So that sucks, and unfortunately he's not going to be able to tour with them too much. But yeah, this is a fantastic fucking heavy metal album. I mean, Judas Priest, you know, they're one of the greats. You can't go wrong with them. But like I said, if you enjoyed Redeemer of Souls, man, you're going to fucking love this. I would assume that even, no matter how much you enjoy Redeemer of Souls, I mean, it could be wrong. It's, you know, everyone's got their own opinions. But I think if you enjoyed Redeemer of Souls, you're going to enjoy this even more, because I think you could almost say that this might be their best thing they've ever put out since Painkiller. But Angel Retribution was fucking awesome too. Nostradamus I was not a fan of. Way too much experimentation, way too long, just dragged on. But yeah, man, I fucking love this album. This is released on Epic Records. Some of the standouts from here: Firepower, Lightning Strike, Necromancer. Man, Necromancer, that's one of the heaviest songs they've done in a long time. And that's the cool thing, is like every single song on here, nothing gets too, you know, poppy, too ballady. Everything's pretty damn heavy on here for the most part. So yeah, Judas Priest, Firepower, can't recommend enough. Great shit. Next up, we got Pestilence with Hadeon. This is their comeback after not releasing anything for many, many years. And a very welcome return for Pestilence. I was certainly very excited about the return of this band. Moment. But yeah, I was very excited about the return of this band. And I'll tell you this. You like Testimony of the Ancients and Spheres, those two Pestilence albums, you're going to feel right at home here, because this really does bring back the sound of those two albums. And that's not to say it's just a clone of those, you know, they're not remaking the same album over again, but the sound is very, very similar. But there is still some really cool songs on here. You know, the band's just that technical riffing and just those jazzy kind of interludes and parts that Pestilence has always been known for throwing in. I can't remember the vocalist's name at the moment, but he sounds as good as he ever has. His growls are still great and everything. Yeah, like I said, really cool technical riffing, just really good musicianship all around still. These guys still know how to play this style of techie prog death metal very, very well. And they're one of the first people that were doing it, you know, along with Atheist and Death and all those. So, yeah. This is released on Hammerheart Records, by the way. And, yeah. If you dig Pestilence and you don't really know, haven't really been keeping up with them, don't really know what's going on with them, check this out, man. This is really fucking good. Pestilence, Hadeon. Alright, we got something a little bit different here, but I cannot... Is this upside down? God damn it. Yes, it is. So yeah, we got some a little bit different here. This is Good Tiger. This is their second full-length album, and this is on Metal Blade Records. They just got signed to Metal Blade Records this year. If you're not familiar with Good Tiger is like a supergroup of the two guitarists from the Safety Fire. If you're familiar with them, progressive metal fans, you should be if you're into the modern shit. So yeah, the two guitarists from Safety Fire, you got Alex Rudinger, who is a just fantastic fucking drummer. Every project that he's in nowadays just seems like it's fucking gold. Never does a bad band. And Elliot Coleman, who used to be in Tesseract, and he did some stuff with Misha and Mark from Periphery, their project Haunted Shores. He did some stuff with them. And yeah, this is not really metal. It's really not. It's more like progressive meets an alternative rock kind of style. But I would say it is metal-ish here and there, because just there really is some metal moments that come out, just the way these riffs are played, the arrangements and stuff. And I really feel like this music can still appeal to a lot of metal fans, progressive metal fans especially. So yeah, every song is just, man, every single song on here is just so catchy, and this is just really beautiful, well-played progressive music that just fucking jams, man. I can't get enough of this. I've had this on heavy rotation ever since it came out, pretty much. I've been playing it nonstop ever since. I didn't get the CD right away, but I bought it on their Bandcamp the day it came out. So yeah, really, really cool shit. I was really hoping that this would, when I went to go see Protest here, I was going to get to see these guys, excuse me, and Destrage instead of the other two bands, but like I said, I still enjoyed Thank You Scientist and Closure Moscow were fine. But yeah, I was really hoping I would get to go see this band just because of how much I was fucking obsessing over their stuff. But like I said, they got one other album besides this called A Head Full of Moonlight. That's really good too. I can't really decide which is my favorite out of the two, but yeah, like I said, if you dig the modern progressive stuff and just with a little bit of a metal edge, but having that like alternative rock vibe, give it a chance, man. This is, like I said, this is really, really catchy, cool stuff. Good Tiger, we will all be gone. Oh shit, here we go. Portal, Ion, their 5th full-length album. Now, once again, Wyatt XM, thank you for getting me into this band. And I'm gonna try to not sound like all the other people that talk about this band and have talked about this album, but this is definitely a little different for Portal. It still has that Portal atmosphere that you would expect. You know, still dark and creepy, spooky sounding. But the biggest thing is the production. And they were already going this way a little bit on Vexavoid, but they really, really, you know, dig deeper into that more crystal clear kind of production on this. I don't know if I'd say it's crystal clear, and it's still, this is definitely their most accessible album that they've ever put out, bar none. Even compared to Vexavoid, this is way more accessible. That's not to say this is still for everybody. It's definitely not. It is still very weird, experimental death metal that everyone loves from Portal. Just a whirlwind of fucking crazy-ass riffs, and the curator's vocals are even more like a lot more understandable, a lot more clear in the mix. But he still sounds as disgusting and spooky as ever. And yeah, I'm really, really happy with this album. I love Portal. Definitely one of my favorite death metal bands going today. Definitely one of the most unique death metal bands going today, I would say for sure. So, yeah, if you're a Portal fan, I mean, you probably already heard it, but if for some reason you haven't, yeah, this is a really fucking cool album. Portal, Ion. Next up, we got Hooded Menace with Ossuarium Silhouettes Unhallowed. This is released on Season of Mist. And, god damn it. The Portal album, that's Profound Lore, by the way. Sorry. Completely fucking missed that. So yeah, it was released on Season of Mist. Really cool death doom from Finland. Definitely one of my favorites in the death doom genre going right now. Most of you should probably know him, but for any reason, Jesus, I can't talk. Any reason that you don't, if you like Asphyx, if you like Winter, Disembowelment, I know those are kind of some more underground picks for Death Doom, but if you like Coffins, you know, it's that old school death metal meets doom metal kind of style. And they really throw that Finnish death metal vibe into it as well. And to be honest, when on first listen of this album, I was slightly disappointed because they're continuing to go in that melodic direction like they were doing already on Darkness Drips Forth. But what I prefer about this over Darkness Drips Forth, the riffs are a lot more, just more of an impact, more crushing, more beefed up. And the drumming is way, the snare sound on the drums is way more thick and pummeling. And it was a little too thin for my liking on Darkness Drips Forth. I mean, that album was still pretty good. I don't dislike it or anything, but I definitely prefer this album over Darkness Drips Forth. I do not like it more than Never Cross the Dead, Effigies of Evil, or Fulfill the Curse. I still prefer all those over it. But this is still really solid Death Doom. You really got some like gothic kind of vibes that come in here and there. You'll have to listen to it for yourself and see what I mean with that. But yeah, another really, really cool album from Hooded Menace. So yeah, Hooded Menace, Ossuarium, Silhouettes, Unhallowed. Go check it out. Next up, we got Hamferd. These guys just recently got signed to Metal Blade. I discovered these guys from watching a Banger TV video where Blaine Smith was doing a review about this. If you guys ever somehow come across this video, thank you very much for letting me know about this band, because I am really, really enjoying this. This is like funeral... Yeah, like a mix of gothic and funeral doom is the best way for me to describe this. And the vocals are very, very unique on this. It's just almost like kind of this... this guy's just got like this kind of like almost operatic soprano mix with that kind of gothic style. It's kind of hard to describe, but you listen to it for yourself, you'll see what I mean. The drumming is... Drumming is not an easy thing to do with doom metal. You really have to keep it going and keep things interesting to keep the listener's attention, which is something that unfortunately a lot of doom metal fails to do. This drummer knows what he's doing and he pulls it off very, very well. The riffs are great. You know, every song is very well constructed, very well played. All the songs are pretty catchy, and I forgot where these guys are from. I think it's called the Faroe Islands, something like that. I don't know where that is exactly, but that's the language that this album is sung in, apparently. And I'm not even going to bother reading these title tracks because, yeah, look at that shit. Nope, not doing it. So, yeah, you like a bit of, you like your funeral doom with a bit of gothic? Check these guys out. That's Hamferd, and this is Tamins, Likam. Yeah, that is the best I'm going to be able to do that, probably. And the final one I've got to talk about, guys, is Druid Lord with Grotesque Offerings. Another fantastic Death Doom band going right now. If you like Hooded Menace, Asphyx, and Coffins, you know, once again, bringing up those bands, you're going to feel right at home here. Once again, it's that old school death metal meets doom metal sound. And these guys are out of Florida. And I discovered this band very thankfully from Canyon Bickle, actually. I'm friends with him on Facebook, and he all I saw was he posted the artwork. And I saw this artwork, I was like, oh man, that's got to be something fucking cool, because fuck you, Glare. But yeah, I fucking love that artwork, man. That is some killer shit. And if it's not clear from the artwork, these guys definitely give off a very heavy horror theme throughout this album, which you guys know, as I've told you by now. Any of that horror stuff that comes into metal, I'm all for it. I'm sold. But yeah, very cool stuff. Great riffs, really pummeling, thick drumming, really cool sounding death growls and kind of these kind of like spooky sort of screams that he incorporates into his vocal style. And yeah, this is their second full-length album. This was released on Hell's Headbangers, by the way. And this was actually the very first release that I picked up from this year. It's from all the way, came out in January, I want to say. So, yeah, man. If you like your Death Doom crushing, heavy, you know, that horror theme and vibe to it, you're going to love this. Some standout tracks from Grotesque Offerings. You got House of Dripping Gore. That was the very first single that I checked out from them. So yeah, House of Dripping Gore, Evil That Haunts This Ground, Creature Feature, Last Drop of Blood. Yeah, love it. And there's a lot of really cool, like, sort of... I, myself, couldn't really tell you what the movies... I'm pretty sure they did use actual movie samples, but I don't know what those movies were. But there are kind of some, like, horror movie samples throughout on some of these tracks. that are really, really cool and just fit the overall mood and vibe of this album very, very well. But yeah, killer shit. Druid Lord, Grotesque offerings. Check that shit out. Check all this shit out, as a matter of fact. Highly recommended. All of it. So yeah, that has been my first batch of 2018 releases that I picked up, and hope you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully you found some new cool shit to check out and listen to, because that's, you know, one of my goals with this video, is to talk about all this cool shit that I'm into and share it with you guys, and hopefully you'll enjoy it, and you'll enjoy it too, and find some new stuff that you've never heard before. That's the great thing about, you know, all these YouTubers doing these collection updates and reviews and everything. So yeah, that'll be it. You guys take care. See you later.